Hello and welcome again to this CrossYoga class. Welcome on the mat together with God. My name is Ria. What I'm going to guide you through today will be a short session of just being on the mat with God without words. So we're going to just let our bodies speak whatever is on our heart. Sometimes there's lots of words, especially if you go to church. You hear a lot, you speak a lot, you analyze, you do all this stuff, and it's amazing, it's wonderful. But sometimes words just cannot give enough or cannot express what you have inside. So maybe your body can, maybe your hands, your postures and all that can express something that will not be said in words. So this will be our main focus today. And just to emphasize this, I found this passage in Matthew 6:5. It's from the Message version before the Lord's Prayer. So Jesus says, "Here is what I want you to do. Find a quiet, secluded place so you won't be tempted to play role play before God. Just be there as simply and honestly as you can manage. The focus will shift from you to God, and you will begin to sense His grace." So no role play before God, just being honest. So you're welcome to find a child's pose to begin with. However comfortable that is for you, you might want to have some space in between your knees. You might want to just lay flat on the mat if you have knee troubles. But come down, maybe palms facing upwards, and just be here with a few breaths. Now, a lot of us, if you're used to pray, you might want to put some words here, but to keep to the theme, maybe your hands just express this child's pose, whatever you feel like you need to express today, when either it's seeking forgiveness or praising or just opening your hands saying, God, I'm here. So let this pose express what you feel like. So lift from here, coming up to downward facing dog. So move your hands to the front of your mat. Spread out your fingers. Maybe your pinky finger will reach each side of the mat. Lift up your glutes and start walking just a bit. As you open up your hips, as you open up your body, you open up your heart and everything to God. And if you like sighting it out, go ahead. If there's any tension anywhere, it can be even your shoulders. Just move, be creative here in your downward facing dog. Nothing is wrong, as long as it doesn't hurt. Finding a small side stretch. So move your toes, that can be to the left side. And from here, lift up your hip area towards the ceiling, so you get a kind of side plank with your hip a little higher than usual. Moving back, going the other way around, opening up. And back to downward facing dog. Walk to the front of your mat. Forward fold. Coming into standing posture mountain. Arms sway out to the side, coming up. And hands down, forward fold once again. Lifting your chest, finding a straight spine. Hands on the mat, you bend your knees and then walk or jump your feet back to plank posture. Either on your knees or on your toes, lower down. Maybe you exhale here. Inhale, lift your chest, and exhale, lower down again. Inhale, lift your feet, your legs off the floor, and exhale down. Again, lifting up your chest and lowering down. Feet lifting again, getting into our back. One last time as you inhale, lifting up in cobra here. Maybe your hands get away from the mat and lower down. Lifting up your feet. Turning your feet down so you're ready to get into plank posture. Again, knees or toes, whatever you prefer. Coming into plank and downward facing dog. Stay here for a few breaths. Make your heels come as low as you can. Maybe they reach the mat, maybe not. Nothing is wrong or right here. Make sure you don't have your arms glued to your ears. Make some space there, pulling your shoulder blades away from your head. And then again to the front of your mat. Coming down to a forward fold. Inhale, arms move up. And prayer pose. Close your eyes. And just get into this posture of standing. Now, if your body could speak to God, what would you do? Would you throw your hands in the air with your fists saying, "Why, God?" Or would you forward fold and say, "God, forgive me. Why am I such a person doing this and this all over again?" Maybe you just lift out your arms to the side, opening up your heart and say, "Okay, God, I'm not holding anything back." So find the posture, whatever that looks like, that express what you need to express right now. Coming back into plank posture, forward fold. Taking your right leg and moving it all the way back, warrior 2. So you turn the back foot around, lifting your arms up. Make sure that knee and ankle is above each other. In alignment and arms out. Make this posture an easy one for you. So you can go lower, you can go a bit higher. Breathe deeply. And find your extended warrior, elbows down to your knee, lifting your back hand up. Try to see if you can have a line from your hands all the way down through your core and to the back heel. Making sure you don't lean your whole body weight down here on your thigh. Moving up again. Now we're going to do these two postures on the other way. So if this is too complicated, if you can't look at the screen, just step to the front of the mat and take your left foot back. Other than that, find warrior 2 yet again. Coming down, breathing. Maybe picturing yourself here on the mats, like a surfboard in God's grace. Surfing on God's grace. That sounds good, doesn't it? Extended side angle. So get that long sensation on your side. Maybe lifting your hip a little bit higher to Do you feel the stretch here on your side? Moving back. Slowly move your feet to the front of your mat, stepping to the front of your mat. Forward fold, letting your head go. Twisting a tiny bit. Again, stepping your your right foot just one step away, not too far. And we're going to find a twist. Right leg behind, right hand aligned with your left foot, and then try to raise up or lift up your left arm towards the sky. Now this might not be an option to reach the floor, so maybe you want to come up here and stand like this, if you can keep your balance. And again, your hands can speak out to God. Move your hand down, putting all your weight on your left leg, finding balance. Right leg moves all the way up. Grab a hold of your knee and hug in it. Dancing posture. This is a balance posture. It might be difficult, so you can do lots of different versions. You can just stand here if your balance is really off. Other than that, try to open up your shoulder and hold the arch of the foot, leaning forward, arching your back. Maybe you want to go with your left arm, kicking out your foot into your hand, finding some focus on the floor. And letting go. Inhale, arms up. Forward fold, side it out. Beautiful. Left leg one step behind. Now we want to try to have both feet on the mat, toes pointing forward, hip width apart with our feet. And then again, our twist. Long spine, so we don't fold forward as we twist. Right arm moves up. You can either look at the sky or look down if your balance is better off with that. Shoulders away from your ears. Beautiful, coming down. Again, finding some balance now on your right feet. Coming up. Opening up your shoulders as we did before. Finding your foot. Make sure your knee doesn't come all the way out. It's more back. And as we find our balance, engage the whole foot on your right feet. And if you fall here, don't bother. Don't think you're a failure or anything. You're surfing in God's grace, remember. Letting go. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, side it out, forward fold. Moving your right leg back. Knee down on the mat. Maybe you want to fold your mat here. And coming up on one knee. Moving your hip area a bit forward. Arms move up. Take a hold of your right wrist and then pull to a side stretch. Now, you don't want to lean too much forward as you pull to the side. But when you pull to the side, you feel like, oh, I can do a bit more. You might want to push your hip area a bit forward, and you'll get a deeper stretch on your hip flexors and on your quads. Inhale, coming back. Both hands and shoulders on the inside of your knee. You might want to walk that foot a bit out. Run a stretch here. Normally you would go down on your elbows, and that's definitely an option. But maybe you want to go and move your hands away from the front foot out to the side here. Don't move your hips with them. Let your hips, your feet and ankles and everything stay where they are. Come down and breathe. If you want to go for more advanced, you might want to lift that lower knee up. Walking your hands back. Coming down on all fours. Releasing any tension. Maybe close your eyes and move a little bit. Again to the front of your mat. So slowly coming to the front of the mat. Remember to move slowly. It's really nice to move slowly. That affects the way our minds and body works when we're not in a hurry here on our mats. Arms coming up, inhale, and again side it out as you forward fold. Left leg goes back. Knee on the mat, folding your mat again if you prefer. Coming into this low lunge. Arms up. Take a hold of your left wrist, side stretch or side bend. And then, as was said before, maybe you want to move that hip area a bit more ahead. I'm moving my feet as well. And coming back. Run a stretch. Hands and shoulders and everything here on the inside. As you move your hip forward and down, make sure, again, knee and ankle above each other. If you go a little more deeper bend in that knee, it's not bad or anything. It's just proper alignment. We will always be knee and ankle above each other. Now hands moving out, bowing down. And yet again coming back. On your knees. Lifting up again, you're going to fold your mat. Going to do a back bend now. It's camel pose. If you have any issues with your back, you don't want to go that low back, so please be mindful. So to start with, just put your hands here down behind you, hips and knees again aligned, moving yourself back. And this is a kind of surrender pose. So maybe just stay here. Maybe you want to go for the full camel pose, hands reaching down to your ankles. Opening up your heart, holding nothing back. Come up using your core. Lowering down, child's pose, so toes or toenails it's called, on the mat, coming down. Again, arms wherever you feel like. If you want to just want to hide a little bit, then make yourself a little space here where you can hide as small as you can get. The awesome thing about just moving and letting your body do the prayers for you is that God already knows what you're thinking, what you're feeling. So what you're doing right here is just trying to
put some action into everything that he already knows and everything that he's already forgiven and everything that he already loves. There's nothing hidden from him. From here, slowly come around on your back. Knees bent, head down. And then some windshield from side to side. So knees slowly move from one side to the other. Inhale and exhale as you move your knees to the side. You can close your eyes. As we finish up with some stretches for our lower back, you might consider, if your thoughts are everywhere, you want to be quiet, you want to just be. Maybe put some music on. Maybe it's some music without songs and lyrics, so you can just be with whatever that music speaks to you. But just staying a theme could be nice if it's just quiet around you, but if there's kids playing or whatever kind of noise, maybe music will actually give you that kind of quiet space that you need right now. So move to one side of the mat. That could be your left side. And then lift up your feet. And then 90-degree angle, pour out your knees to the, if you move on the left side, you have your knees to the right side. Holding maybe your thighs here, hands out to the other side. Now if your hands can't reach, it's maybe because you're a little bit tight here in the lower back, that's fine. Just have your hands somewhat here or whatever, that feels good. And try to relax your lower back. And deep breaths. As you relax your muscles everywhere, even shoulders and eyes. Remember the verse that we read in the beginning. Come before God as honestly as you can. And moving back. Move to the other end of your mat, finding that side stretch. The other side as well. So bending your knees, knees out to the side, arms out opposite side of your legs. Now nose can either point up towards the sky, or you can look out towards your hands. That's whatever you prefer. And use some belly breathing here. So really expand your belly. And exhale. Again, back to the center of the mat. One last posture. Actually, this posture always makes me feel a little bit ridiculous. It's a not child's pose, happy baby it's called. And I'm using this posture right now because it is really foolish, and it sometimes reminds me of just how much a child I am in God's in front of God, and how vulnerable I can be in front of God. So lift up your knees and bend your knees like 90 degrees. Pull out your knees to as far out as you can. Your feet are aligned with the ceiling maybe. And then take your elbows inside your knees. And I love take a hold of my outer side of the foot. By this way I can pull down on my feet, and with my elbows I can pull my knees out. Now try to not lift your back, but let your spine be as long as possible. And as you pull down on your feet and as you widen the space between your knees, you will feel something happening in your inner thighs and groins and everywhere. And just be here, all silly and all vulnerable. Let this posture be some sort of, okay, God, here I am, holding nothing back to God. And release, let go, resting pose. Now often I say that you're more welcome to stay in resting pose much longer than the length of this video, because I don't know how long you want to stay here, so I'm finishing pretty soon. But please stay here, as I said before, maybe with some music on, maybe just being all quiet. If there's any verse or picture that have come into your mind as we have done the different postures and stuff, maybe you want to meditate on that. Other than that, maybe just go ahead and be yourself. Quiet in God's presence, that's always nice. So relax your whole body. And deep breaths, inhale and exhale. God, thank you that we can be in your presence without speaking, without explaining, because you know it already. May this body and may these postures that we have done be our prayer to you today. From my heart to your heart, thank you. And please stay here, resting pose, even though the video will finish now.